Hello Aquarius, welcome to your weekly horoscope. This is for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Risings. What's up? So Aquarius, you actually had an archetype card jump out before I got into your reading, which is the Child Divine, and it says light attributes are innocence, purity and redemption, suggests a special connection with the divine. So I honestly thought that seemed very relevant to what's going on for you this week. You have this Sun and Venus Cazimi happening in your 5th house, which is an awesome house for this to be happening in. It really is the house of love, the house of friendliness, fun, creativity, child stuff, you know. It's a really, really beautiful house to be having such a powerful transit happen inside it. Also, you guys have Jupiter that's just moved into your 5th house, and that is a beautiful opportunity for you to really grow and expand in your love life, in your joy, in your just sense of general fulfillment, you know. So you guys having this week this Jupiter square Pluto that's happening between your 1st and your 5th house is you really kind of building into, I think, a new sense of identity. Pluto is now in your sign and it will be going back into Capricorn in September, but it ain't going to be there for long. It's going to be coming back. So for the next 20 years, we have Pluto in Aquarius. So you guys are going through the biggest next 20 fucking years of transformation that you've ever seen. Now, you having this beautiful trine to start off this sort of transit with between your 5th and your first house is really an opportunity for you to connect in with your inner child and to connect in with what it is that truly actually brings you joy and that really makes you happy. The shadow attribute of the child divine, or the divine child, is an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. So I do feel with Pluto moving now into your 1st house and moving out of your 12th, it's kind of like you have been through some of the most demonic shit that you could have been through already, Pluto, Aquarius. And so it feels like this is now a time for you to really find the light again. It feels like finding an opportunity for peace amongst all of the craziness and all of the chaos. So with this Cazimi happening and making its sextile to the North Node in Aries in your 3rd house, and this trine to the the South Node in your 9th house in Libra, it's really a time for you to build into where it is that you are and to start utilizing your environment and to start utilizing the energy and the environment around you to start living a better, healthier, more wholesome, happier, healing life. So with Saturn being in your 2nd house and all of this going to be squaring each other, because as the Sun and Venus move, they're going to be coming closer and closer to starting to square with Saturn, and by the end of the week they're going to be squaring with Saturn. And so it's definitely a week that's going to be putting pressure on your finances, putting pressure on your resources. Saturn in Pisces in the 2nd house is here for you guys to sort of start working on your finances and to really ground your finances into something tangible, you know, through using your own skills. What skills do you have, Aquarius? What skills can you start now utilizing in order to bring more abundance to you? You've had Neptune in your 2nd house for literally the past 13 years. Neptune moved into Pisces in 2011. So since 2011, you guys have been on a weird money fucking merry-go-round. You guys have not known exactly what the fuck money is. You know, it's felt like intangible, because that's what Neptune is. It gives this sense of intangibility and this feeling like we don't actually know. It's foggy, you know. We don't actually know what resources we have, the potential that we have, the skills we have. It's not really understanding your skills and how you can really truly utilize them and use them. But see, now this square between the Sun and Venus with Saturn in your 5th house, Gemini, it's really kind of saying like you have a lot of skills and a lot of things that you can really bring to the table and a lot of things that bring you joy. But Saturn being there in your 2nd is a little bit like, well, okay, what can we really focus on that brings us a lot of happiness and a lot of joy now that is one sort of avenue? Actually, with Gemini, 2 avenues. 2 things that you love. So maybe you I'll use me as an example. Absolutely love astrology. I also love art and I love painting. So in the future, I'm going to be an artist and an astrologer. So what can that look like for you guys? With Gemini, it's the twins, so it's 2 paths. And, you know, that could look like you being a musician as well as being a graphic designer, you know? It's having two different sort of pots, two things to put your hands inside and to build resource through and to build, you know, with Saturn being there, to build something solid from. So Saturn being in the second house says that we need to build something solid at the moment in order to bring in resources, in order to receive resources. And it has to be something that feels fulfilling, that feels good to the inner child as well, that feels like it's like, you know, an opportunity for you to really bring happiness and joy and excitement to that inner child. Or, you know, it's working actually with children. You know, that could be the other sort of manifestation. But with this South Node trine with Lilith and the node being in the 9th house, this is definitely something to watch out for this week, is this feeling of I need to go further, I need to learn more, I need to have more. You know, this could be a week where it's like all of a sudden you kind of get this feeling like, oh shit, I better go back to uni, or like for what it is that I need to do, I need to go to uni, or I need to go on this big quest, this big adventure to find out what it is. And that, my fluv, I haven't to say my friend and my love, so I called you my fluv. That, my fluv, is basically you chickening out in a way of focusing on what you need to be focusing on and thinking that you know, like, you know, you have enough skills, you have enough to be able to build resources out of what you already have. You don't need to go looking for more education, more learning, more knowledge, more opinions with Libra, more people telling you what you should and shouldn't do, what you should and shouldn't think, all that sort of stuff. This is about you listening to your heart. What is all this happening in? Venus, Sun, Cazimi, happening in the house of your heart. So this is a week about really connecting in truly with your heart and finding joy and you know, expansion. This could definitely be a week as well where you are sort of traveling. And you are, you know, through going on a little bit of an adventure, whether it's somewhere close, somewhere far. You know, that little bit of an adventure, I think, might spark this excitement in you, or this sort of like this nudge that says we need to start, you know, really solidifying what it is that who I am, solidifying what it is that I want to do, how I want to bring these resources into me, how I want to move forward in the creation of my resources and because it really is all about resources at the moment, and happiness, and finding balance in both, and finding a peace and a joy in actually being happy and being able to communicate. You know, Gemini is the sign of communication, so you guys really do need to be communicating a lot in order to feel happy, because 5th house Gemini, you know, if you're not exploring, if you're not learning, if you're not exploring your curiosities and trying new things, you feel stuck, you feel stagnant, and it feels a little bit you know, boring. Ace of Cups is coming out, so it's definitely a week for heart opening. I think this week is going to be emotional, it's going to be confronting, it's also going to be exciting. We have the Hierophant and the 8 of Cups coming out, so for some of you guys, it's like, that's the call, I think, of this South Node with Lilith and Libra there. Lilith in Libra. You know, that's kind of the pull, I think, of this South Node, which is saying, you know, what's out there is better. It's like looking on the horizons for different things. This 8 of Cups in reverse is saying that don't walk away from what you already have. Don't walk away from what already feels healthy and wholesome to you. You know, you have North Node in the 3rd house, so you already are in the environment that you're meant to be in. Don't be getting any ideas that it's like, oh, I gotta go on this big massive quest and I gotta go live on the other side of the world, you know, especially with some of the crazy shit that's going on at the moment. It's just not really a time for us to be, it's not a time for anyone to be traveling, especially with Jupiter and Gemini, but it's not a time for you to be jumping ship, you know. It's a time for you to be actually becoming comfortable in the environment that you are in and sticking to that. And, you know, with Aries in the 3rd house, it's a little bit like having too much to say, or having a lot to say, and maybe not actually taking very much in from the people around you. And like I said, like, don't get caught up in what everybody else has to say at the moment, but it is a time of communicating. It is definitely a time of opening up and speaking your truth, and speaking with friends and family and people close to you, because 3rd house is the local environment, you know. So it's, if you have brothers and sisters, it's having conversations with them and trying to, like, you know, this really spoke to me when it said redemption. Innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. So I feel like Spirit, by giving you this Venus Cazimi in the 5th house, the universe is literally giving you a boost. It feels like a boost for you to find more joy, a boost for you to find happiness this week, a boost for you to get excited Lioness protection. It does feel as though you guys are really quite protected at the moment. It feels like you guys have a lot, like with Jupiter in your 5th house for the whole next year, you know, this is you expanding joy. This is you actually being able to receive a lot more joy than I think that you guys have been able to receive over the past few years. It's been intense, you know. Jupiter's just moved out of your 4th house, so it's been really a big year and a half really, of you guys having major shifts and transformations in your emotional world, but also in the place that you're living, you know, in home. There are shifts and changes that have had to happen in your home. And with the moon making its conjunction with Uranus this week, and she's in a balsamic phase as she moves into the new moon, you know, that's really an opportunity for you to restore, to look clearly at, to pay attention to your emotions and what your emotions are telling you, because it feels like, you know, over the past year, things have probably been quite emotional, quite intense. And now with Jupiter being in the 5th house, it's like, woohoo, let's have a little bit more fun. Let's chill out a little bit. Let's not make things feel so heavy. And with it making this beautiful sextile over to Pluto in your 1st house, you know, this is the identity finally being, you know, unleashed. It feels like an identity unleashed. We have connection with the tarantula coming out, which is, this is a bit of a freaky card, not gonna lie. And that's sort of a testament to what I feel like the past this whole Pluto Capricorn transit for you, having been in your 12th house, is like a huge, just huge psychic and spiritual awakenings that have been happening since 2008. And so at this point now that you're at, it's almost like you're okay with the demons now. Like, the demons aren't going to scare you. You don't care if you're like, you know, you'll befriend the spiders instead of running away from them. And so I feel like with you now being okay with like looking at the shadow, you're actually able to now embrace the light as well. It says groundedness with the armadillo, and look at that big sun in the background. So now it looks like you have protection. And that's the thing, you had the lioness coming out. So you guys are very spiritually protected at the moment, which I really, really like. I feel like it's a really beautiful energy, to be perfectly honest, because it feels like you guys, you know, with all this in the 5th house, a new moon happening in your 5th house, it's really a time for you to find the joy again, to find the happiness again. Even like sex stuff, like maybe you guys are feeling a little bit like, you know, dating or getting out and meeting new people and just having a little bit more fun and connecting with people and in your local environment as well, like people that are around you. It's not going on some big fucking world trip now. It's about finding happiness and finding peace in where you actually are already. Chiron in the 3rd house, you could be wanting to get up and pack it and move all the time. And so this is like pretty much energy that says, can you stay in one place just for a little bit, Aquarius? We have observation with the falcon. Can you stay and observe yourself? Can you observe your feelings? Can you observe your reactions? Can you observe why you might be reacting and feeling a certain way? Can you maybe even observe why it is that you felt this compelled to like study more, learn more? Is that because you don't trust and believe that your skills are enough? You're going to have a 5th house, 2nd house square that's coming up, and that really is about needing to find a joy in what it is that you're creating and finding like value in your happiness, really valuing how you feel, really valuing how you're able to bring happiness and joy to other people as well, because Saturn is sort of like where we have our power. And so the power that you guys have at the moment is in the 2nd house. It's in your resources and being able to build something through joy, through connection, through communicating with people, through children, and being able to sort of be like this light. You even had the divine child come out. So some of you guys really could be feeling called towards like working with children. And that is very much supported for you, Aquarius. What other archetype do we have coming out for you? Woo! That doesn't surprise me at all. We have the prostitute. Light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And that's the thing, without negotiating the power of your spirit. So Saturn in the 2nd house is teaching you financial lessons. Have you negotiated with your own spirit in order to receive money in the past? You know, what have you had to do that you weren't super happy about because in order to make money? Or, you know, is there just a little bit of shadiness around money sometimes? It's kind of like this time for you to see clearly what it is that you have done that has been healthy for your sense of personal empowerment and what hasn't been. The shadow attribute is places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So it really is very much a moment of self-empowerment for you guys, especially with this Jupiter 5th house, Pluto 1st house, making their really, really strong trine. This is really about you empowering yourself and feeling empowered into your ability to actually, you know, follow in your dreams and have them work out for you. You know, that can be really hard because you've had Pluto and Capricorn for the past 12, 15, 16 fucking years in your 12th house, which has basically been making you feel as though, you know, you take a leap and you are protected, but, you know, you don't always land exactly how you wanted to land. And so you sort of opening up and empowering yourself and feeling like, yeah, okay, things didn't work out in the past. I have some failures under my belt. Use them as lessons. They are lessons. They're not failures, they're lessons. You also have the martyr coming out that says learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Shadow attribute is addiction to self-pity. So don't be pitying yourself, Aquarius. Don't be getting lost in anything that, you know, says that I don't have the power to get me out of certain situations. Pluto is about power, and it's in your 1st house, so you are needing to step into your power now with Pluto in your sign. Okay? And stepping into your power looks like following your heart and following your joy, because that's very difficult for you, Aquarius. You guys are always changing your mind on what it is that does make you happy, so at least just follow this path of 2 different things. You can do 2 things at once. You don't have to. I think the thing that scares you is like the thought of like committing to one solid path as your happiness. And, you know, you don't have to do that. What if just for now is the path, and it's like, you know, not having to have it all worked out and all mapped out right away all at once with this 9th house. It's like, maybe you need to just become comfortable with the fact that you are where you are, and things might not be super duper amazing at the moment, but they're moving into this energy because you're actually in a point of empowering yourself. And look, we have the guide coming up. You bitch, come on. The guide says, represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Shadow attribute is places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. So this is the biggest thing with Saturn being in your second house. You can't be letting money overrule who you are, you know. So it's being very, very honest with yourself about money, especially with the Sun square Saturn sort of thing. It's being very, very honest with yourself about where you may be dropping the ball, and about where you maybe need to pick things up, maybe where you need to communicate better, maybe where you need to be doing more in your local area that is going to help generating you money, meeting people, having connections, networking. You know, you're a fucking Aquarius. Network. You have that skill. Use it. You know? So it's really a potent time for you to be able to really see clearly how, with observation, you know, how you've been getting in your own way, Aquarius. It feels like you've been getting the fuck in your own way for a long time, and the simplest thing you could fucking do right now is literally just like love life, have fun. I was just saying to Sagittarius before, they've got all this energy in their 5th house as well. You know, they got Chiron and the North Node and everything in their 5th, and any time it's 5th house stuff, can you go be in the sun, go sit in the sun, go allow the sun to warm your skin. Allow yourself to be warmed up in the heart of the sun, because that's what a Venus Cazimi is. It's being in the heart of the sun. So getting outside, I bet you're pasty as fuck, Aquarius. Stop being a pasty fucker and get out in the sun, even if it's 15 minutes a day. Just do it, because it's going to really help you feel, it's going to help you feel connected to the divine. I feel like you guys feel, look, I'm even seeing that sort of like sun in the background when it says guide. The sun will guide you. Let nature be your guide. 4th house, Taurus. Let nature guide you emotionally. Let nature be, you know, your safe space. Nature is your safe space. So get out and be in it, Aquarius. Oh my fucking God. Are you serious? What was it saying? Go get in the sun. Go plant some trees. Go garden. Go sit on a bloody picnic blanket and eat a pizza in the goddamn sun with your best friends and just laugh. Have some goddamn fun. I'm telling you, if you don't have fun this week, Aquarius, I'm gonna slap you motherfucking silly. I'm gonna be coming at you next week. Don't make me come at you like I had to just come at Capricorn. Anyway, We have 5 of Swords, Temperance in reverse, 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords. I mean, 9 of Coins coming up. You guys don't want to have fun. You guys don't want to heal. You guys are holding yourself back from healing, and healing, it looks like fun for you. Healing is actually allowing yourself to be in your life again, and in the sun. I just keep saying in the sun. 9 of Coins. Independent. Don't be so independent all the time, Aquarius. This is a time for you to open up and to connect with people. 3rd house, 5th house. Let's have some fun. Let's go on a date or two. You know, go on a date, even if it's a friend date or a sibling date, could definitely be powerful. But just go on a date and have some fun and have a bit more of a local adventure. You know, and even with Aries being here, maybe you need to take yourself on a personal date, like an artist date. If you guys have read The Artist's Way, that's definitely a good book for you to listen to at the moment, actually. But you know, it's about taking yourself on a date every single week and showing yourself that you really care. And so if you can't be going out on dates with other people, go on a date with your goddamn self, Aquarius. You deserve it. All right, I'm gonna leave this reading there. You got one of the longest ones again. So I don't know, Aquarius. We had a lot to talk about. I love you guys. I hope that this resonated. I hope you fucked with it. Make sure you check out your channeled song, and I'll see you next week. Peace.